Hand me my screen box.
Good afternoon. This is Judge Middleton. Who am I speaking with?
Jody Wood.
All right. You're also known as Jody Lynette Klein.
Klein Wood, yeah. It's my maiden name.
Judge Pattison just made you cry, and I'm sorry for that.
Because I don't know what the heck I'm supposed to do. I have no idea. This is all new to me. I don't know what I'm supposed to do. And so everybody's being an asshole to me, and I don't know what to do.
Well, I will try to be nice.
I can't get no lunch. I can't get my meds. I can't get nothing to drink.
Hold on. Also joining us is Mr. Stickley from the Public Defender's Office, and he was with you with Judge Pattison. In this case, which is file number two, this is file number 20605 SM. It alleges a retail fraud, and this matter is complicated, which I will speak to in a minute. In this case, it's alleged that on or about March 6th of 2020, you did a retail fraud at the Walmart store in Three Rivers, charged as a second degree. That is a misdemeanor. It's punishable by up to a year in jail and a fine of up to $1,000. Kind of see if I can figure out anything about it.
Because I can't even remember what happened.
You were charged, you were arraigned, you pled not guilty, and attorney David Marvin was appointed to represent you. He's now the prosecuting attorney. So when you got arrested again in 2021, they appointed Victor Fitz, the Cass County prosecutor, as the special prosecutor in this case. Mr. Marvin can't prosecute you on a case where he previously was your lawyer. So we have a special prosecutor from Cass County. You went AWOL.
I didn't go nowhere. I've been around here the whole time.
Well, you weren't here at court. You failed to appear on August 7th of 2020, and a bench warrant issued for your arrest. You got arrested on August 9th. Wait a minute. No, they didn't arrest you until just recently. I renewed the warrant. So maybe you didn't go anywhere, but you didn't come to court.
I thought I had a Zoom. It seems like I had a Zoom or something, and I had no clue how to run at the time. I had no clue how to run the phone or anything, and I didn't know how to get on the Zoom.
Well, all right. Well, so I'm here all day, every day.
No, I don't have a vehicle either.
All right. Well, it's good that you're in custody then, because we can deal with all this. I'm going to appoint an attorney, a new attorney. I'm going to set this for attorney pretrial for November 3rd. Hopefully, Mr. Fitz will be available. We'll set this for 9:30. Need to give notice to Cass County Prosecutor's Office.
Why is it Cass County, sir?
Because Mr. Victor Fitz is the Cass County Prosecuting Attorney, and they were appointed as special prosecutor. Mr. Marvin was your lawyer, and in 2020, he was elected as prosecuting attorney. He took office on January 1 of 2021. So he can't be your defense lawyer and the prosecutor at the same time. So they got a special prosecutor. So I need to get a new lawyer to represent you because Mr. Marvin can't represent you. What is your address? Is it Still Road?
No. Well, since what happened last night, I guess I'm getting moved out of there, and I don't know where I'm going to. And my parents are moving my shit out of my house or where I was staying at, because I've had the cops out there 3 times because I get pushed around, thrown down on the ground.
Where have you been staying?
On
What town?
Sturgis. Because my husband and I had got a separation, and that's where I went to.
All right,
That's where
who
I've
lives
been.
on,
That's where my husband lives,
all right, which Wood are you married to?
George.
All right.
But we've been separated for like 2 years.
Well, there's 3 George Woods. You're married to George Alva Wood?
Yes, unfortunately.
Okay. Okay. What happened last night that caused you to get arrested?
Because I called the police because I got thrown down and hit again, and they come there and didn't do shit to them, and it was the 3rd time they've been there for this, for me being thrown around.
All right.
And
Well,
they
they
still haven't
should
done anything to
have
him.
arrested you the first. So the cops came on a complaint. They realized there was a warrant for your arrest and you got picked up.
Yeah, but the cops have been there like 5 or 6 times prior to that and even asked me if I had warrants or anything, and they never said nothing to me. And
All right,
then
well,
I
who knocked you?
tried to get
Who knocked you down?
Dave. And
Dave
it's
who?
been him the last, Dave Caldwell. And I called on him 3 times for him doing this to me, and they've never done anything to him. And then they took me to jail last night.
All right, I don't know anything about any of that, but you've got these old larceny charges that you never dealt with and you took off. That's how you dealt with them. So I'm appointing a new lawyer for you. I'm setting it for November 3rd at 9:30. We need to give notice to the Cass County prosecutor. Judge Pattison set your bond at 5,000 cash or surety. I'm gonna leave this bond at 1,000 cash or surety. So you may well end up sitting until we get this back on track. What did Judge Pattison set his case for?
He said
He
it
says it.
probation violation.
Oh, yeah, she's on probation in the other case.
See, sir, I'm totally confused about what's going on. I really don't know.
All right, let me see if I can help. You're confused because you're knowingly confused because you've ignored everything that was going on here. In this case, you're alleged to have stolen some stuff from the Walmart store in March of 2020. You pled not guilty. I appointed a lawyer for you and got a special prosecutor, and you failed to appear and never came back since August of 2020. You should have been arrested when they came to see you before, but they didn't.
Yeah, because
So that's this
they've been
case.
at the house. They've been at the
The
house
other
many
case,
times.
you were on probation to Judge Pattison, and that was on another retail fraud charge. And it's alleged that you violated your probation by not doing the things you were supposed to do and getting a new retail fraud charge. So he had a warrant for your arrest as well. So you don't understand what you're going on because you bugged out on your criminal complaint and you bugged out on your probation violation. So we're going to get a lawyer to help you with this and set it for a pretrial and one for a hearing. And you're pretty weak sauce when you say, well, I couldn't come to the courthouse. I couldn't call the courthouse for 3 years. So we'll deal with it. So you're probably going to sit until we can get this addressed. We'll talk with your probation agent. We'll see perhaps if the prosecutor will agree to resolve everything all at once. And that's where we are. Okay, you're good to go.
So I got a bond of 5,000 and a bond of 1,000.
1,000, correct.
What? Why did they raise my bond from 15 to 5?
I don't know. I didn't do that one. I left this one as it was originally set.
Well, I asked and they didn't answer me, so.
Well, I don't know the
I'm just
answer,
not-
but Judge Pattison apparently felt you were a risk not to appear since you've been AWOL for 3 years. But the good news is there is no longer any warrant hanging over your head. We're going to get these resolved, but you're going to sit unless you post the bond. Good luck. I'll see you on November 3rd and I'll get a lawyer for you.
Okay, thank you. My housekeeper left her purse.
Good afternoon. This is Judge Middleton. We are live on Zoom, on YouTube, and we are recording. This is a continuation of the matter of Lori Ann Wallers versus Kayla Jean Schmucker. Both parties are here by Zoom. Also present is Meg Bauer from Western Michigan Legal Services. We are here on October 9th, and Lori Wallers was here, and Meg Bauer was here, and Ms. Schmucker was here. This was filed as a termination of tenancy matter. Ms. Wallers is renting the house to Ms. Schmucker and her family. And Ms. Schmucker is building a house and waiting to get out and get into her house. So this was filed as a demand for non-payment of rent. And there was a representation that Ms. Wallers was filed as a termination of tenancy. And Ms. Wallers was actually collecting rent. In the letter dated October 11th from Ms. Schmucker, have you received a copy of that, Ms. Wallers?
No.
She should have sent it to you, but I'll read it. My fiance and I are currently renting a home at 1321 East Hatch. While building our new home, we have a verbal agreement that allows us to continue renting until our home is finished. Well, a verbal agreement is not a lease. We believe our landlord is trying to evict us illegally. She has continued to collect rent payments after servicing the notice to quit. We perceive this as a continued lease. The landlord has not allowed us to peacefully occupy the residency since the notice to quit. She's tried to shut off our electric, water, and internet in home in order to force us to leave. If that's true, that violates the lockout law. We understand this is not our home. We do intend to move as soon as we are able to. We do not want to be here any longer than need to be, but our home must be finished first. I have attached our payment history via Apple Pay from August 1st, our most recent payment on October 1st. These additional documents are text messages exchanged between the landlord and I and the harassment. So I put maybe everybody, I don't remember if it was just Ms. Schmucker and legal aid or everyone was in the breakout room. But as I indicated, Ms. Wallers, when you file a notice for termination of tenancy, there's a case called Park Forest, which says you can't accept rent in a termination of tenancy, or it is a premise that you intend to continue the lease. Ms. Schmucker, does that pretty much set out your position in this?
Yes.
Ms. Wallers, what's your response?
So the verbal agreement was not till her house was done. Well, it kind of was, but she said her house was going to be done in she said 9 months. She wasn't supposed to be there this long. And she's only paid up till September because she told me that she lives somewhere and then pays rent. So the rent was due on the 1st. So she's actually been a month behind the whole time.
Ms. Bauer, you have any thoughts on this?
I think the acceptance of the rent subsequent to the delivery of the notice to quit creates the impression of a continued relationship. And yeah, I'm not sure I follow the 1 month. There have to be a whole payment history review on the facts of that or not. But at the end of the day, I think the intent of in accepting the rent, I think it was done wrong, Judge.
I think so too. The notice to quit was filed June 28th. The complaint to recover possession of the property was filed August 11th. And the plaintiff has continued to collect rent after those dates. Miss
Neither
Wallers,
of us knew. Yep. Yes, sir, Your
Um,
Honor.
you're in a difficult spot. I read your earlier
Right.
letter about why you want to get back into this house. And this thing is flawed from the beginning. You have no lease. You have an agreement that she was going to be there for a couple of months. Now it's 9 months. You want your house back. She doesn't want to move because her house isn't done. And she has a colorable lease. You were golden until you accepted any money. Now, I haven't made a finding regarding the lockout law. You can't shut off her power, her utilities, her water, her cable TV.
I
That
didn't
violates,
do that, Your Honor.
well, all right, I didn't make a finding that you did, but you accepted rent. Had you
Yeah,
not
I didn't
accepted the
know.
rent, I would have given her 10 days from today to move out. But you undermined your whole case. So,
Neither one of
this
us knew that.
well, if you'd got some legal advice, well, like I said, the whole thing is flawed. You've got friends that are no longer friends doing this on a handshake. It doesn't comply with the Landlord-Tenant Relationship Act. You don't have a lease. Ms. Schmucker, you don't have a lease. So you have a verbal agreement, which is worth about a negative 2 cents. So she's going to have to start over again and file it as a termination of tenancy and not accept any money. Once they move out, you could sue her for money. But if she had done it right, you would have had 10 days from now to move.
Oh my
When is
God.
your when is your house going to be done?
We're aiming for end of November.
Hey, the Gene Smucker.
Wait.
Oh, my God. He's not even gonna give her 10 days to move out?
Miss Wallers,
Yeah, Your Honor.
who's with you?
Her mother.
My mom.
You should sit down and shut up. You're in a court proceeding. It's live, it's being broadcast to people, and I don't need your editorial comment because your daughter doesn't understand the Landlord-Tenant Relationship Act or the law. So if you say anything else, I'm gonna have a contempt hearing. So Miss Wallers, you didn't know, and you're doing the best you can, but I can't just pluck something out of the air. As a practical matter, she may be out by the end of November, but I doubt it because nothing ever is done when they expect it to be done. So you may have to start over again. You can't have it both ways. You can't ask her to move and then collect rent from her.
Oh, my
If you
God.
filed it
I know
as a
that now.
demand, yes, if you filed it as a demand for non-payment of rent, you could accept the rent. You live in Sturgis. Now, you can certainly do this yourself, but there are a number of attorneys in Sturgis, Mr. Bush, Mr. Thornton, Mr. Reed, Mr. George, who do landlord-tenant law, who could help you with this for not a lot of money. But Miss Schmucker, you should plan to be out of there. You don't have a lease, and you're staying there as a source of great irritation to her. However, to your credit, you've continued to pay the rent. So I'll leave it, Miss Wallers. If you wish to continue to accept the rent and hope she moves by the end of November, you can do that. But if you wish to terminate her tenancy, you can't accept any money. So the matter is dismissed without prejudice. I'll do an order.
Fucking Kayla Jean Smucker.
Ma'am? Miss Wallers?
Yes,
hear
Your
me?
Honor. Yeah.
I'm going to file a petition for your mother to come in here into court and show cause why she should not be found in contempt for cursing in my courtroom and expressing her displeasure at my ruling, which happens to comply with the law. Ma'am, can you hear me?
I apologize. I thought you guys were done. I'm sorry.
We're not done, and you and I are not done either.
I thought they closed it out.
You're gonna come to the courthouse, and you and I are gonna have a little face-to-face discussion. And you may be found in contempt with a potential jail sentence or other sanction. So you don't have to like it. You're in a court proceeding. If you were here in the courtroom, hopefully you wouldn't act like that. But this is a
I
privilege.
did apologize, Judge. I thought you guys closed out the case. I'm sorry.
We did not. And I said, if you said something else, so you and I are gonna have a little visit. I will send you a notice.
Okay.
All right, Ms. Schmucker,
Yes.
you should make every effort to vacate this premises. Ms. Wallers, your options are to continue to accept the rent and hope that she moves. Or file an action to terminate the tenancy. In this case. But you undid your own case. So for that, I'm sorry for both of you.
I just don't feel, Your Honor, that's very fair, being I'm her mom and I'm paying $344 of that house payment and she pays $250 and he pays $250.
Well, I
I
didn't
just
say it
feel
was
like-
fair.
Yeah, I know,
if it
it's
was-
not fair.
If it was fair, she'd move out and let you have
She
your
has
house
a
back.
dad. She has a dad that has an apartment in his basement that she could go to. She just don't want to.
All right.
Get a tissue.
I'm sorry.
You're in a.
I'll do an order dismissing it.
I
I
suppose,
believe
Judge.
it's her I believe it's her daughter.
I believe you're correct.
Probably won't be having Thanksgiving together.
Yikes.
Can you hear it? Can you hear it? Ma'am? Ma'am? Can you hear it?
No.
Okay.
I have no patience for that. And trust me, out of the day, I'm sitting up here, I'm the one that needs the grant.